He was on a few minutes ago. I think he just stepped away.
We're live. We're live, Mayor.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 4th. We're calling to order the City of Carson Housing Authority, successor agency, and council agenda. The public may address the members of the City Council on any matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council or on any items on the agenda of the City Council during the designated public comment period. Because of the threat of COVID-19, the coronavirus, you're urged to take all appropriate health and safety precautions. Out of an abundance of caution and due to the increased Omicron COVID-19 variant, the City Council meeting will be held virtually via Zoom. Public viewing is available by live stream on the city's website. The meeting will be streamed live over the internet via www.carsonca.gov or on YouTube, www.youtube.com/City of Carson, California official YouTube page, or cable TV Spectrum Channel 35 and AT&T Channel 99. Public comments. You may call in to make live comment over the phone by calling 1-669-900-6833. Meeting ID 310-233-4888 on the date of the meeting during the portion of the agenda entitled All Communications. Email public comments can be emailed to the city clerk at carsonca.gov. The cutoff time to receive any email communication is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Written communications can be placed into the metal drop box located in front of City Hall. The cutoff time to receive any written communication is 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Madam City Clerk, roll call, please.
Sure thing, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Rojas?
Present.
Councilmember Hicks?
He will be here at 5:30.
Okay. Make a note of that. Councilmember Deere?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Hilton?
President, I'm having problems with my computer, but I just jumped on my phone, so I'm present. I'm here.
Okay, we have you down. Mayor Davis Holmes?
Present.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a flag salute by our councilwoman, please.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Right hand over your heart, face the flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
To the
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are pleased to have with us this evening for the invocation, Pastor Sierra Jones of St. Reed Missionary Church. Pastor, welcome, and thank you for coming to do the invocation for us.
You're quite welcome, Madam Mayor. Thank you for the invite. Shall we pray? Most Father, we come now at this time to say thank you for another privilege to come boldly before your throne of grace. We thank you and we praise you that you are God, and besides you, there is none other. We pray now and we ask, Father, that you will bless as our mayor and our city council, city officials prepare now to discuss city business. We ask your continued blessings upon our mayor. We ask that you bless the entire city council, every staff member, bless our sheriff department. Oh, Father, we ask that you would bless everyone that is a part of this meeting. We pray your presence. We pray your power. And we pray, Father, that our mayor and every elected official will serve with passion for the betterment and the benefit of our people of the city of Carson. We say thank you for what you've already done. We pray that you will continue to give our mayor and her staff the stamina, the insight, the wherewithal, the favor that they may be able to continue to lead this city government as you would have them to do so. We thank you. We ask it all in the name of Jesus. And for his sake, we do pray. Amen.
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 Pastor, I hear you're related to someone over here named our captain, Jones. Is that true?
That is true. That is true.
We have someone praying for us at all times, and we have someone taking care of our police issues and keeping us safe as a community.
And I constantly pray for our law enforcement in the city, and as well, Madam Mayor, I constantly pray for you and the work that you're doing. I know that it is not easy giving leadership in such a time as this. So my prayers are with you that you will continue to do a great job. And congratulations on your son's latest achievement.
Yes, I'm excited about that. He's moving on to something else. And I thank you for your prayers. And we have been a praying family, but his tour with the LAPD came to an end last week, and I am excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm proud, for everything that he's done. He's a good father, a good husband, and a good son, and just a good community person. So when prayers go up, blessings come down.
Yes, yes. I'm praying that he'll grow up and he'll stop being a boy and that he will. Yes, maybe one day.
Well, right now, I'm all smiles for what he has become and what he has accomplished. So when he reaches that other level, look out, world.
Oh, yes. Well, we're looking for great things in this next chapter.
Yes, indeed. So he's starting a new chapter in his life. And that came, and I just want to thank everyone for their prayers and blessings, because he has been a true Carson Knight. He gives back to his community. He mentors young boys and girls.
Yes,
He's just a good role model, and I'm proud to call him my son.
Yes. And he's a great man.
Yes. So
Yes.
thanks again, Pastor, for the invocation and for the words, and continue to pray for me.
Yes, will do.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Mm-hmm.
Madam Mayor,
Yes. I'm sorry.
congratulations to you. Yes,
Yes.
that says a lot. And I was honored to have worked with your son for many years, and a great guy, and it does have a reflection on you as a mother. So congratulations.
Well, I thank you very much. It's
Yes.
a labor of love, and I made sure that the streets did not get him. So
Thank you.
I was on the job 24/7 at the high schools and everywhere else I need to be.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He's going to the DA's office, by the way.
Oh, yes, I heard, and that's great.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
congrats.
I have to say, Madam Mayor, I have to thank him as well, because he mentored me, and so I'm in the particular greatest fraternity ever because of him. So I'm appreciative of him as well.
Thank you. Okay.
It was all fine and good till you mentioned that fraternity. We congratulate Deshaun on his well achieved, and he's been a role model for forever in the community. So we congratulate him.
Yeah, I got 4 more following in his footsteps, so we're doing something right over here at the Holmes, Andrews, Davis clan, as we call them. So thank you.
My congratulations as well, Madam Mayor, to your son. That's great to have a career in law enforcement and now starting a new career.
Starting a new career, another chapter in his life, and I tell him the best is yet to come. So, and he needs to get these jobs so he can take care of his mother and his wife and kids. I always put my bid in. You're gonna have to take care of me. I'm a senior citizen. Okay. So next on the agenda, it will be, let's see, Madam City Clerk, are there any comments on closed session items?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Madam City Attorney, could you report out on closed session items, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I happily report that we only have one item pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Closed session will be held with Mr. David Roberts, City Manager, regarding labor negotiations with AIM, CPSA affiliated with SEIU Local 721, AFSCME 1017, AFSCME Local 809, and unrepresented employees. That concludes my report.
Thank you. With one item on closed session, we should be back before 6, if not by 6 at the latest. hopefully. Okay, so we will adjourn to closed session and hopefully return before 6 o'clock. Thank you.
We are live.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Evening again. We're gonna ask our city attorney to report out on closed session items.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A closed session was held pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 to enable Mr. Roberts, City Manager, to conduct labor negotiations with AIM, CPSA affiliated with SEIU Local 721, AFSME 1017, AFSME Local 809, and unrepresented employees. No reportable action was taken. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll go to item number 3. We have our wonderful captain here from the Carson Sheriff Station, Captain Jones.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Madam Mayor.
Hi there.
Hello to our city manager, the rest of our council, Mayor Pro Tem, and everyone. How's everyone this evening?
Great.
Oh, wonderful.
I would just like to also echo Madam Mayor about your son, Deshaun. He was a little older than me, and I remember him looking out for me on the Torrance Transit number 3 as we caught the bus.
While he was trying to hide from me.
Yeah, but no, I'm happy for him. Congratulations on that. I have a short report today. I'll start off. I had the pleasure of meeting with the Human Relations Commission sometime earlier last month, and it was a very good meeting. We were able to discuss how the Human Relations Commission can work with my staff as well as the community on drug prevention, drug awareness regarding our youth, as well as how we can help build some alliances with the LGBT community, as well as any other groups to make sure that they feel safe and protected from any form of mistreatment. As you guys know, we have some additional town hall meetings. Those are very good town hall meetings. At our latest one, it was real good. We had a lot of parents who were inquisitive on, just dealing with their kids with drug abuse, fentanyl, substance abuse. So we were able to talk about ways parents can educate their own children on drugs, as well as some warning signs, as well as things parents could look out for if they want to try to detect if their kid may unfortunately be going down that direction. We're working on trying to have some type of gathering where we bring parents as well as children in so we can go over this information with them because we think it'll be beneficial. This past weekend, we partnered with the community, had the Block Captain drive-through. That was very good. Good to see a lot of our block captains. For those who are out there, we are recruiting new block captains because, as you know, our block captains are getting a little older in age, so we can always use more block captains to be our eyes and ears and just to partner with us to keep our city safe. We were able to give our block captains some snacks, some safety information, as well as crank radios in case of an emergency. I'd like to thank a lot of you all for coming by to support it from our council. Upcoming, we have a coffee with the station tomorrow at IKEA. It's National Coffee with the State Cop Day, so we'll be at IKEA having coffees, eating snacks, and just having good conversations, sharing crime prevention information. And then we also have a few more town hall meetings coming up on Thursday, as well as next weekend on the 15th. The morale and the troops at the station are doing well. Things are going good. We did take a little punch in the gut this past weekend. I would like to take this time to acknowledge one of our members who unfortunately passed away last Thursday. Our evidence and property custodian 2, Rosa Williams. She was such a valued member of our station. She had been here at our station since 2001. She was a major part in us as a station reaching our goals and reaching our expectations, as well as being successful on various inspections, as well as helping our detective bureau solve many criminal cases. As you guys know, in any case, the chain of evidence and evidence plays a major part on if a person can be guilty or not guilty. And being our evidence and property custodian, she was very meticulous and made sure the job was done and done well. But in addition to her work performance, as a personal person, she had great personal qualities. She was very personable with everyone at the station, got along, and brought a sense of joy and a spark to the station. And then she was a part of Carson. She went to school throughout a lot of our Carson schools. She's a graduate of Carson High School. So it was very shocking and heartbreaking to us. And I just wanted to make sure I publicly acknowledged her, let the council and the city know, and just let her and her family know we will never forget her. We will miss her, but we'll never forget her. So I just wanted to pass that on and acknowledge her.
Captain, I know you gave me your presentation, but I wanted to say thank you personally. I know her personally, know her family, know her church family. And it's a significant loss. When I was scrolling through social media and I saw the pictures, and you do all the other investigations, and as they're planning out her services. Thank you for acknowledging the work that she does and that she did in Carson. I was definitely going to put her on the list tonight for our memorial adjournments, and we greatly appreciate you acknowledging. One of the things I love about the Carson station in particular is that people who work in Carson live in Carson. People who work at the station, ultimately they live in Carson, and they grew up in Carson. They have some part of Carson. And that's what community policing is all about, building community partnerships and having people who are from the community who understands the dynamic of community. So I couldn't, I know you're in the middle of your presentation, but I couldn't let that pass because she was an intricate part, not only to the station, but to people's lives in general.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. But yes, as you just said, she was an intricate part. She cared. It wasn't about just doing the job, but she actually cared, and she had relationships and friendships here in this great city. That concludes my report. I just wanted to share that with you all and some of the things that we've done over the last couple of weeks. Does anyone have any questions of me?
Well, I have a request that you provide her family's mailing address so that we can send them a letter and a certificate from the city. And I know it's not a part of our normal process, but I'd like to send her a floral arrangement on behalf of the city of Carson, because if she was that involved in our city, we should do something more than do a memorial adjournment. So that is going to be my request, Mr. City Manager, that we send some type of floral arrangement and the certificate, memorial certificate to the family.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do, Madam Mayor. We actually already started the floral arrangement, but we'll definitely get that certificate out as well.
Okay.
And I'll get that address to you all first thing in the morning.
Get it to Ginger.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And to Val.
Ginger or Val?
Thank you, Captain. Good report.
Yes, sir.
Chief Bennett Hitchens this evening?
No, Madam Mayor, he actually is out due to medical issue, and so we just pray for his safe and speedy recovery, but he will not be attending this evening.
Oh, okay.
Madam Mayor, I wanted to thank you, Captain Jones, for being a big part of our public safety meetings and giving us all that information on the latest fentanyl outbreak that's going on. It's like its own pandemic, and so thank you for doing that for us in the community, and we will continue to educate the parents and children and educators and everybody as we all learn together. So thank you for that, Captain Jones and the Sheriff's Department.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your support.
Captain Jones, MPT and I need to have a meeting with you because we had promised to go back to Stevenson Park to give them an update on what it is, some of the concerns that they had from when they were at Stevenson Park. So MPT and I would like to meet with you. That meeting, I think, is on the 15th. But anyway, we'll have staff to coordinate your calendar so we can have a discussion so we're not going in empty-handed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, MPT?
Wonderful. I ran into one of the gentlemen today as I was driving through Stevenson Village today, just assessing all the area. And he said that he's seen more patrols. He's seen you guys have been more visible. I appreciate that. When we just give the follow-up meeting, we just want to have some more talking points. But he personally said, some of the people who were in the back, he personally said that he has seen more patrols since that meeting. So I appreciate you following up, Captain.
Thank
No
you.
problem, sir.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
before you go any further, I want for the record and for the clerk that I joined this council meeting in closed session, so I was here for part of the closed session.
I have you down, Councilman.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Item number 5 is proclamation recognizing October as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We have this on every year. I think I'm a 35 breast cancer survivor now. So I just am thankful and blessed to host the All About Me Women's Health Conference, which is going to take place on the 21st. And ladies, if you have not signed up, I encourage you to do so. We have about 15 medical doctors that are giving of their time and talent at no cost to come and talk to you about concerns that affect your life and your body. So it's all about Me Women's Health Conference, and I'd love to see everyone there. The Women's Issues Commission, the Human Relations Commission, and the Public Relations Commission has been assisting staff with putting this getting all the details together. We have some wonderful gifts for you. I mean, some wonderful items in the gift bag. Wonderful. And you will get a breakfast and you'll have lunch. And keynote speaker will be an attorney that's going to enlighten you about your living trust and how to leverage your resources. So we're looking forward to you attending October 21st. And Councilwoman Rojas, do you have the resolution?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. I do. Yes.
I read it every year, but I'm gonna defer to you this year.
Yes. Thank you. And thank you. You are a survivor, so thank you. And we honor you for that. So do I have it on the screen? I'll read it off. There we go. Thank you. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you very much, Kevin. I was going to say, ooh, I can't read that. Okay. Okay. So October, ladies and gentlemen, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, whereas National Breast Cancer Awareness Month is an opportunity to educate women about the importance of early detection for breast cancer. And whereas cancer remains the leading cause of death in the United States. Since the inception of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, mammography use has doubled and breast cancer death rates have declined. And whereas by making healthy lifestyle choices and exercising regularly, individuals can help reduce the risk of developing breast cancer. During National Cancer Control Month, we celebrate the progress made against this disease, and we reaffirm our national commitment to preventing cancer, improving treatments and the delivery of care, and finding a cure. This includes efforts to improve cancer prevention, promote early detection, enhance treatment, and support the needs of cancer survivors and caregivers. And whereas the National Cancer Act of 1971 is a landmark legislation that cemented our nation's commitment to cancer research, establishing the networks of cancer centers, clinical trials, data collection systems, and advanced research, without which many breakthroughs against cancer in recent years would not have occurred. And whereas mammograms, regular self-exams, clinical breast exams are also vital because they can help doctors diagnose breast cancer before it has a chance to spread. And when breast cancer is detected early, treatment is more effective, giving hope to patients and helping lives. And whereas National Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a time to remember those living with breast cancer, recognizing their family and friends who provide them with love and support, and acknowledge the innovative, life-saving work of doctors, researchers, and other medical professionals. And whereas through their efforts to prevent, detect, and treat breast cancer, they are helping many of us make a difference in the lives of our citizens. And whereas our nation has made extraordinary advances in the fight against cancer, but much work still remains to be done. During National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, let us renew our efforts to save lives and spare suffering by accelerating our work to end cancer. Now, therefore, the mayor and the city of Carson, California, do hereby proclaim October 2022 as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month and urge local businesses, communities, healthcare professionals, educators, volunteers, and the residents of Carson, especially women, to learn about early detection and mammography and continue the efforts in search of a cure. This is dated the 4th day of October 2022, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And as Mayor requested, that on our next meeting, we all wear pink. That is the color for National Awareness Month. Now, I do have a recipient for this, but I don't see her on here. I don't know if there's a name. It's
Emily. She's on, Councilwoman.
Oh, she is. Okay, so it'll be short. So our recipient this year, she, back in 2009, she received a devastating diagnosis of evasive ductal carcinoma, positive metastatic breast cancer on her right breast. 6 months of agony, feeling tired and exhausted. She was diagnosed and went through many diagnoses, and at the end of that, she underwent surgery by one of the best oncologists and director of gastrointestinal tumor program by Dr. Melanie Sham at Cedars-Sinai. And she also went and undergone years of chemotherapy, multiple surgeries to remove the tumor, and reconstructive surgeries, and it was successful. So congratulations on that. Now fast forward to 2020. A new tumor growth was discovered, and she immediately had that removed on the other side of her breast, and several surgery attempts. Although some were successful, she had complications of severe lymphedema. She is now embarking on a breakthrough treatment to hopefully regain back her strength and well-functioning lymph system through lymphedema specialists. So she is still going through that. And I wanted to read before I introduce her that in North America, as we know, the highest rate of breast cancer related cases in the world is in North America. And with the numbers that they have, on an average, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States. So that is something we all need to work together and try to get a cure and to educate each other. So ladies and gentlemen, I see her name is Emily Colbrenner, and honored to have her here with her first round of being a survivor and second round of another survivor, and she is still surviving, still strong, and she is still with us today. So that in itself is a blessing. So Emily, if you could, I don't see her yet, but thank you. We honor you.
I see her.
Okay.
Hi, Emily.
There you are. Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Yes,
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Arlene Rojas, Mayor Lula Davis. Thank you so much. And also everybody in the City of Carson Council and staff and Mayor Pro Tempore, Mr. Hilton. Thank you so much for allowing me to have this opportunity to introduce myself and be grateful, of having to wake up every day and thinking about the life that I had undergone through years of treatments and struggle against the big C. It is quite a story and journey, having to battle this big C, and without the great and compassionate doctors and medical professionals that have helped me through the years, and my beloved family, and of course my wonderful and beloved friends that I, have met through the years, and also the great and special friends that I met at City of Carson. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be part of the City of Carson family. And it's a wonderful gift, and I feel very good. And it helps me to know that a lot of people like yourself, Councilwoman Arlene Rojas, really truly care about people like us who were blessed in such a way with this special challenge, and we, in our capacity as survivors, I personally hope that we can help the future generation by giving our blood samples and our data for furthering and advancing cancer research. And survival rates have improved, and thank you for all the help and the support, and the proclamation certainly will add more to the fight against looking for cure for cancer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, for, I always tell people that we didn't join this army, we were inducted into it. It's a process that we go through, but it makes you stronger, and it makes you realize the value of life. And I just say it's a process. Faye Coons, are you here on behalf of the Women's Issues? Faye?
She is here, Madam Mayor.
Yes. Unmute yourself, Faye.
Yes.
Yes, Faye is also here in support of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Faye, I think you are a survivor also, aren't you?
No, but both sides of my family, my
Yes.
aunt, two of my cousins, they had their breast removed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's really very sad, You know how breasts really signify that you're a woman, you're a mother. But you have to, and if you detect it really early, you can save yourself.
Yeah.
That's why I encourage everybody to just go for the mammogram. I'm going next month.
You have to go self-exam.
Yes.
You have to have the mammogram. Connie Manuel, you're here also from the Women's Issues Commission. Connie, I can't hear. But Emily, your story, you are going through something, but you are going to survive. I believe that, and you have to keep positive people around you, and you have to think positive. And when you have a loving, caring family to walk this journey with you, nothing is impossible. Because when I went through it 35 years ago, I just prayed, and I said, "Thy will be done." And 35 years later, I'm still here. It was His will, and it's gave me the opportunity to speak about breast cancer, because some people were afraid to let others know they had breast cancer. And so when you come to the conference, we started out with just 3 people saying they had some form of cancer. Now there's 100 ladies that get up and march and say that, yes, I am a survivor. We will always live with breast cancer. I tell everybody I'm living with breast cancer, but I'm a survivor. And I just want to commend you for your struggle. If I can be of any support to you, please let me know. And Connie, you have a few words, Connie Manuel?
No, I was so grateful for all your prayers, because I don't have any cancer, but my serious major surgery, pancreatitis surgery, were giving me an opportunity to think and deeply reflect what beautiful life is ahead of us. And thank you for all this support and flowers and letters and cards, received cards. And thank you so much.
And I thank you. Welcome. I see the chair of the Women's Issues Committee, Commission, Ms. Carolyn Foster.
Yes, she's so good.
Carolyn.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late, but I was on another Zoom call for another board that I sit on.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming also. You brought your women's issues. Susan is here. Hi, Susan. Women's Issues Commission. I want to thank you guys.
Hi, greetings.
How
So
are
sorry.
you?
I was having some issues with getting logged in, but thank you. I am so happy to be here.
We had 39 members to
And
vote on this.
You guys have the entire commission here. Sheila Tresbrant, Greta Price. Oh, all of the commission is here.
Yes, good evening.
Hi, Greta. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you.
Thank you for what you guys are doing on that commission, Sheila Tresvant.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, you guys are doing an awesome job taking this commission to another level, and I'm just pleased that you're here in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to come out.
Mayor, Dr.
Yes.
Price, may I just make a small comment?
Yes, ma'am.
I was blessed to be able to have my annual mammogram about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I had the 3D. So for people that are not aware of that, that's a newer instrument that's used. And within days, I received a letter saying, congratulations that you are normal. So that was a special feeling for me to know and to thank God that I'm not traveling that road, but I want to commend you and those of you that are traveling that road, that it's only by God's grace that you're here. But again, on the other hand, I was offering praise and thanks that I had a positive result. Thank you.
Madam Chair, would you like to say something?
Excuse me, just thank you for the honor of inviting us this evening. We take our responsibility on the Women's Issues Commission very seriously, and we're always happy to be of service to anyone in any place where we can. So thank you again for the invitation.
Yes. Well, let's embrace Emily. She's a survivor, so I am, and send up special prayers for her. And Madam Chair, get Emily's number, and we'll reach out to her from time to time. I know our councilwoman has it. She knows how to contact her. But that's a wonderful commission there, okay?
Thank you, Emily, and hang in there. And you are a survivor twice, and you have a family that will be praying for you. And so that's a congratulations. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Arlene, Mayor Davis, and also Councilman Jim Deere and everybody, my new family at Carson. Thank you all so much. I am so happy to be at Carson, and I feel, so much better every time I go to Carson. My heart leaps with joy because I enjoy, watching the city of Carson Heroes Day, where I saw Mayor Lula, Councilman Arlene Rojas, and Mayor Jim Deere, and everybody, the firemen, the policemen, and how you honor the grocery people, the caregivers, the medical doctors, and everybody that really sacrificed during the pandemic. And it just makes me feel so happy that, these very wonderful people are honored by, government officials like yourself, and that it's inspiring to many people to see them, being thanked, and with gratitude and joy, they feel good doing their jobs every day.
Thank you.
Thank
you to all the ladies that came out. Thank you very much. And we will see you at the next planning meeting for the women's, It's All About Me Women's Conference. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye, Faye.
Bye, ladies.
All of you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, is Fred here? There you are. Our next proclamation will be proclamation recognizing October as Filipino American History Month. And we will have our Fred Doctoxel, who has been involved in this program since I can remember. And it says, recognizing October 2022 as Filipino American History Month, celebrating our history and our legacies. Whereas Filipino American History Month is a special celebration that honors the history and culture of Filipino Americans who have made a significant contribution to American society since they first landed in the United States. And whereas the earliest documented proof of Filipinos present in the continental United States dates back to 1587, when the first Luzano Indios set foot on Morro Bay, California, and whereas Filipino American History Month was first observed 30 years ago in October 1992, October was the perfect month to commemorate these special occasions for two reasons. The first Filipinos to arrive in America landed in California on October 18, 1587. They reached a seaside city in San Luis Obispo County in the Central Coast Central Coast area. Secondly, October is the birth month of the farm worker Larry Leong, an aspiring labor activist who fought to achieve improved workers' rights. And whereas during World War II, more than 260,000 Filipino and Filipino American soldiers answered the call to action and bravely served and sacrificed under the American flag. The Filipino Veterans of World War II Congressional Medal Act unanimously passed through Congress and was signed into law in December of 2016. And whereas 50 years ago, the first Filipino American Studies classes were taught at UCLA and UC Davis. In 1972, FAS was taught across multiple colleges and universities across the country. More recently, the FAS curricula has been established in K-12 public schools in California, Hawaii, and Seattle. And whereas October 1992 was the first time that a Filipino American History Month was celebrated in the United States. Since then, Filipino American history has been celebrated annually all over the country. In 2009, the U.S. Congress declared October as FAHM, and in 2015, President Obama celebrated the first Filipino American History Month at the White House. In 2016, the FANHS National Museum opened in Stockton, California. And whereas it is imperative for Filipino Americans youth to have positive role models to instill in them the importance of education, complemented with the richness of their ethnicity, and the value of their legacy. And whereas we celebrate Filipino American History Month, we are reminded of the richness of the Filipino culture and how it has enhanced the American experience that greatly contributes to our city's legacy of Who's talking? Now, therefore, the mayor, the city council, and the citizens of Carson, California do hereby proclaim October 22nd as Filipino American History Month. The city of Carson recognizes how Filipino Americans have initiated the collective grassroots efforts to ensure that our voices are heard, their experiences recognized, and their histories are told. Thus, we have these major historical makers in our community, and we encourage residents, government officials, educators, and other institutes to recognize the many contributions that Filipino Americans have made and continue to make to enrich our city, state, and nation. This immeasurable contribution to our nation reaffirms that as Americans, we will always be bound to each other in common purpose and by the shared hopes of the future. It's dated today, October 4th, 2022, and it's signed by the Mayor and City Council. And here tonight, we have Fred Dr. Doxman, he's our planning commissioner. Fred.
Good evening, Mayor Lula, Mayor Pro Tem Giovanni, council members Jim, Cedric, and Arlene, as well as City Clerk Dr. Kalia, and everybody else on the call tonight. Thank you so much once again for this proclamation. Mayor mentioned some of the historical aspects that led to this important, culturally relevant proclamation. There's roughly 5 million Filipinos throughout the United States, and I'm very proud to say that roughly 20% of our almost 100,000 community population here in the city of Carson are of Filipino descent. So it is important, as you know, the city always celebrates the rich diversity that leads to the tapestry that we call Carson. This is definitely something that we absolutely should celebrate and recognize. I'm in awe of the staff that, you know, year in and year out comes up with an amazing event on behalf of the city. I've been fortunate for the last roughly 12 years now to have been involved with multiple annual celebrations recognizing Filipino American History Month, not just with the city of Carson, but also with the Phil-Am Chamber of Commerce and other organizations that I'm involved with. So that's definitely a point of pride to receive this certificate on behalf of you know, the hundreds of thousands of Filipinos in Southern California and the millions throughout the United States. And certainly here in the city of Carson, in terms of the density of the population, it's important to celebrate the achievements that their community has brought. I will say, however, you know, in terms of this year's celebration, it's a 500% increase with regards to the cost to the city, you know, and the residents. So while again, I definitely recognize and honor the city staff that did a fantastic job, and everybody else involved with it. Unfortunately, it literally came at a cost. It's, you know, last year as vice chair, I led the charge to have the celebration here in the city of Carson at a cost of only $5,000, you know, from our city. This year it's $30,000. So again, 500% increase from that. Hopefully, you know, we can continue to make steps forward. I definitely continue to celebrate the community, but not dig as deep into the taxpayers' money to do so. But thank you so much once again for this, you know, proclamation. It's definitely an honor to receive it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to also congratulate Fred for his participation in the committee. Of course, the effort was led by Councilwoman Arlene Rojas. She continues to lead. I work closely with her doing that, but we also have a couple other events for Filipino American History Month. So tonight's proclamation is covering not just the kickoff, but the 16th of October at the Carson Community Center will be an expo of culture and fashion with a fashion show. And then on the 22nd will be, as was mentioned, Larry Itliong Day in the city of Carson. It's a two-part event. I think people should be aware of it. It's a traditional city of Carson's morning event with recognition of Filipinos and non-Filipinos as labor leaders and organizations. And then in the evening at Veterans Park, same location, on the 22nd is going to be an additional awards night for people doing extraordinary work. So again, Fred and Arlene, both working hard for the Filipino community. I want to give congratulations. And also, Fred, I noticed that someone showed me a Facebook thing you just put out. And I want to congratulate you on your U.S. citizenship. So I was wondering why you weren't voting in the elections in the last 10 years, and now I know why. But I'm glad that you are on as a U.S. citizen finally. Congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, that was 5 years ago, but thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you.
5 years
Yes,
ago.
congratulations. Congratulations, Fred. And nice to see you at Dignity Health Sports Center this weekend with your bank. And always thank you. It was a great time. And we made it on prime time, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. So I want to thank Denise Dodor for featuring us on mainstream TV for the Filipino American History Month kickoff at Dignity Health Sports Center. So thank you, Fred, for being there. Thank you for supporting us, and congratulations. Yes, you are now a United States citizen as of 2018. So welcome to the United States of America, and thank you for choosing the city of Carson. Thank you.
Well, Fred, congratulations. 5 years ago, huh? That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
You chose Carson 5 years ago. Not yesterday, 5 years ago.
17 years ago, actually, resident of Carson. Thank you.
It was 17, okay.
You get to vote. You get to vote now.
Have you been voting for the last 5 years, Fred? Yes. Okay, this
well,
is
not since 2018.
Okay.
2018. So you voted in 2021. So that's all that matters.
Okay. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
The next one is a proclamation acknowledging October 22nd as Mental Illness Awareness Week. Councilman Hicks.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, October the 2nd through the 8th is proclaimed as Mental Illness Awareness Week. And whereas millions of Americans face the reality of living with a mental health condition, it affects everyone directly or indirectly through family, friends, or coworkers. And whereas during the first week of October, participants across the country raise awareness of mental illness, fight discrimination, and promote and provide support. And whereas mental health conditions are important to discuss year-round, highlighting them during Mental Illness Awareness Week provides a dedicated time for mental health advocates across the country to come together as a united voice. And whereas since 1990, when the U.S. Congress officially established the first full week of October as Mental Awareness Week, advocates have worked together to sponsor activities, large or small, to educate the public about mental illness. And whereas this year's Mental Illness Awareness Week is centered around the theme, What I Wish I Had, where the focus is on the power of live experience each day throughout the week. The focus is elevating the voices of people with live experiences to talk about the components of their recovery where they learn something that could have helped them sooner. Whereas 1 in 5 adults experience mental illness each year, 1 in 20 U.S. adults experience serious mental illness each year, 1 in 6 U.S. youth ages 6 to 17 experience mental illness disorders each year. Whereas Mental Illness Awareness Week aims to promote healthy lifestyle habits and mental well-being for county residents through fitness classes, workshops, speakers, and training. Whereas Mental Illness Awareness Week is an initiative to raise awareness and reduce the stigmatization of mental health issues and mental illness. The aim of this initiative is to reduce the barriers that prevent people from accessing services for their mental health and substance abuse, which starts with open discussion on these topics. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the city of Carson, California, hereby proclaim October 2nd through the 8th, 2022, as Mental Illness Awareness Week. The city of Carson joins the state and the entire nation in raising awareness about mental illness issues and services, sharing personal knowledge and experiences of what living with mental illness means, helping to reduce the barriers and stigma associated with individuals seeking mental health treatment to live a longer, healthier life. Dated the 4th day of October, 2022. And I do believe we have an organization which is called NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, Urban Los Angeles. The recipient is Daniel Wyatt, who is here to receive this on behalf of Mental Awareness Week. And Daniel, are you here?
Yes, I am.
All right. Oh, the Lion's Den, I see it.
I would love to be able to share my video, start my video. It's being blocked.
How long is that video?
Oh, I know. I mean, I just want to be seen on screen.
I
okay. Appreciate that.
All right. You said video.
No. So I thank everyone. I'm honored to be here. I want to acknowledge Mayor Holmes, Mayor Pro Tem Hilton, City Clerk Bradshaw, council members, and others. My name is Daniel Myatt, and I'm a coordinator with NAMI Urban Los Angeles, or NULA. NULA was founded in 2003 by the late writer B.B. Moore Campbell and 4 other women who were passionate about ensuring that their communities received the mental health support it deserved. NULA is the urban affiliate of NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to educating, advocating, supporting, and building better lives for millions of individuals and families impacted by mental illness. On behalf of our executive director, Harold Turner, our board members, and everyone else at NULA, I say thank you for this proclamation. Thank you for the recognition. Thank you for the opportunity to spread the word about mental health. Anytime we can spread that word, we love the opportunity to do so. We want to thank you for the opportunity to proclaim that it's nothing to be ashamed of if you or a loved one are struggling with a mental health issue. How such a struggle can happen to anyone, regardless of color, character, background, or whatever. How help for understanding, for acceptance, for resources, for recovery, all of those are accessible to everyone in our community. Again, we thank the City of Carson for this proclamation. It's an honor to accept it on behalf of NAMI Urban Los Angeles. To everyone, I just want to say be healthy and well, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, I know I'm next really quickly, so I'm going to take 30 seconds to Mr. Myatt. Thank you. We appreciate that mental health has ravaged our community after COVID-19. So many people are dealing with the endemic of this pandemic. And certainly I want to applaud you for the work that you do. It's a hashtag that goes around social media, says it's okay not to be okay. And we're grateful that people are talking about mental health, and that mental health is on the forefront. So long in communities of color, they fail to talk about mental health as it's like some taboo or they don't want to deal with it. But Councilman Hicks, I want to applaud you tonight for asking for this presentation to come forward because so many people are dealing with mental health issues right now in our community, and I'm thankful at partnerships like this. Sorry, Madam Mayor, I couldn't let that go by.
Oh, no problem, MPT. You're on deck.
Love the support. Love the support.
A proclamation recognizing October 23rd to 29th as the City of Carson's 16th annual Red Ribbon Week for Substance Abuse Prevention and Awareness celebration. Celebrate life.
Yes, we have Paul Dillon Beck, co-founder of Transformation Cares. We did reach out to Richard. He didn't respond back to us. We know that when we usually see Red Ribbon Week, we do see Richard, but we got Paul, Transformation Care. A proclamation recognizing October 23rd through the 29th, 2002 as the City of Carson's 16th annual Red Ribbon Week for Substance Abuse Prevention and Awareness celebration. Celebrate life drug-free. Whereas the Red Ribbon Week campaign is the oldest and largest drug prevention program in the United States, and whereas the Red Ribbon was chosen as an awareness symbol commemorating the work of Enrique Kiki Carmen, a drug enforcement administrator agent who was murdered in the line of duty, and whereas the numerous problems associated with youth access, use, abuse, and addiction to alcohol, tobacco, prescription drug, cannabis, and other drugs have negatively affected individuals, families, and communities. And whereas substance abuse is harmful to youth brain development, can increase risky behaviors, mental health issues, and contribute to the development of adult health problems such as heart disease and The Carson Initiative for Substance Abuse Awareness and Prevention Coalition recognizes the harms related to COVID-19, substance use, and mental health disorders. And whereas the Carson Initiative for Substance Abuse Awareness and Prevention Coalition encourages safe space, service, activities, and efforts for Carson youth. And whereas the Carson Initiative for Substance Abuse Awareness and Prevention Coalition sees the need to provide a fund for substance abuse intervention and treatment resources service to help the Carson community. And whereas the City of Carson is proud of the community members and staff who participated in the drug-free events and contestants in honor of Enrique at schools, parks, churches, businesses, and communities across the City of Carson for the past 16 years. And whereas the City of Carson supports youth, family, and community prevention efforts dealing with mental health, wellness, underage drinking, vaping, impaired driving, prescription drugs, safe disposal, and bullying prevention through education, availability of prevention resources, access for substance abuse intervention and treatment. I'm going to skip down to now, therefore, the mayor and city council and the citizens of Carson, California do hereby recognize October 23rd through the 29th, 2022 as the 16th annual Red Ribbon Week as a theme, celebrate life, live drug-free, and encourage all its citizens, businesses, schools, churches, and other agencies to demonstrate their commitment to a drug-free and underage drinking-free community by wearing red ribbons, buttons, and participating in drug-free activities. Paul, we are in your hands.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem Johnny Hilton and Mayor Lula Davis and the rest of the council members. On behalf of Transformations Care, I want to say we are honored to receive this proclamation from the City of Carson and its community leaders and members. And we look forward to continue to building relationships and working closer with our community leaders and members while we expand further east to better serve our brothers and sisters. We're an inpatient drug and alcohol detox and residential program that also provides outpatient dual diagnosis services. And we are looking to expand and add 50 to 100 beds by the end of 2023 for low-income, criminal justice served, LGBTQ, and additional special populations to help battle this disease. That's really what I have. I just want to thank you all.
Thank you for accepting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Paul Dillenbach from Transformations Care for what you do. I know NAMI is not on anymore. However, the drug and alcohol and substance abuse goes hand in hand with mental awareness, and that's something that a lot of our kids are going through now. So I think we need to work together and combine all these resources together so we can get back into the schools like we did years before. And I think there is definitely a necessity. So thank you for what you do and also what NAMI does. And hopefully soon we can all get together and help out the youth so we can all go forward and go towards getting back to where we should be post-pandemic. So thank you.
Thank you. I agree with that 100%.
Yes.
And Madam Mayor, I'd like to also congratulate Paul and the great work that he and his organization does. I'm sure, Paul, you know Richard Biss. He's a Carson resident and a community activist with Red Ribbon Week. He puts it on every year in Carson, so I'm sure he just wasn't available tonight, but it's good to have you on as well.
Thank you.
That's what the MPT was referring to when he said Richard, he meant Richard Biss. So great, Paul, great work, and please continue helping people. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
Thank you very much for accepting this.
Thank you.
Do I see Alex in the queue anywhere?
I'm here, Mayor.
Oh, okay. I'm
I
overlooking.
don't have the video. For some reason, they're not accepting my video.
Oh, okay.
But if you can hear me, I'm fine.
I can hear you. Recognizing October 25th as Larry Idion Day in Carson. whereas Larry Itliong served in the United States in 1929 at the age of 15 to work as a migrant laborer in the fisheries and canneries in Alaska. He was responsible for organizing immigrant farm workers and cannery workers for over 30 years. And whereas Larry Itliong served in the United States Army for 7 years and 27 days and was honorably discharged as a private in Company K, 2nd Filipino Infantry, after serving in the Army in World War II. Itliong settled in Stockton, California, and continued his work in the labor movement. And whereas in 1956, Larry Itliong led and organized the Filipino Farm Labor Union, which received the support from the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, and consequently led Filipino grape workers' strike in Coachella Valley that resulted in higher pay, and later led a walk out of 1,500 Filipino grape pickers and began the Great Delano Grape Strike to protest low wages and miserable working conditions. And whereas in 1970, Larry Itliong finally became the president of the Filipino American Political Association, the first national Filipino American organization and crucial alliance between the Filipino professionals with 30 active chapters throughout the United States. And whereas Carson became the first U.S. city to recognize October 25th, Itliong's birthday, as a Larry Itliong Day in 2010. 4 years later, California Governor Jerry Brown signed into law a bill requiring the governor to annually proclaim October 25th as Itliong Day. And whereas Carson has celebrated Itliong every year in October for over a decade, in 2018, Larry Itliong was declared as a holiday in the city of Carson. This year, on October 2nd, 2022, on the 109th anniversary of his birth, we recognize the great contributions of Larry Itliong, whose hard-fought battles helped advance the farm workers' rights and social justice. The lasting relevance of his cause is underscored by the oversized burden borne by our farm workers during the COVID-19 pandemic, whose essential role in securing our food supply puts them at greater risk. Therefore, the mayor, the City Council of Carson, California, do hereby recognize the outstanding contributions of Larry Itliong and hereby recognize October 25th as Larry Itliong Day in Carson in honor of his life work to promote and fight for the well-being of all California farm workers, and whose legacy continues to inspire the next generation of leaders across the state and nation. It's dated today, the 4th of October, signed by the mayor and the entire city council. And I'm asking that our chair of the Parks and Recreation Commission, Mr. Alex Danglet, receive this proclamation.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank the entire City Council, with your leadership, Mayor Lula and the MPT and the rest of the City Council, for allowing me to accept this on behalf of the residents of Carson, Filipino residents of Carson, the Larry Itliong Certificate Proclamation. Also, we are one of the city and the only city that has Larry Itliong Day as a paid holiday. So for that reason, we are very unique as a community. We really honor the service of Larry Itliong, of course, with the support of your leadership and the City Council. We celebrate this all month long, along with the Philippine History Month. And for that reason, we have so many volunteers that will be doing some work. I'm running a basketball league on behalf of Larry Itliong Day, courtesy of the city of Carson on October 22. I know there's an event also on veterans and also a gala dinner. So again, it's a great event, and I'm happy to live in the city of Carson, who recognize the work of Larry Itliong. I also want to talk and honor the staff, Mike Whitaker and his staff, Dara, for putting a great event logistically for the kickoff last Sunday. Unfortunately, because of conflict of scheduling, I was not able to attend. But again, I honor their service. I honor what they do for our community. Again, on behalf of the Filipino residents of Carson, it's my honor to accept this proclamation of Larry Itliong Certificate. And I appreciate you. And today also, I want to also recognize the godfather of Larry Itliong in the city of Carson, which is Elito Santarina, who is also celebrating his birthday today. So today is his birthday. So again, I want to recognize him, also give him due, because he introduced this to the city of Carson. I also had the opportunity to visit the Bayanihan Center where Larry Itliong and many farm workers, along with Faye Coons and Commissioner Doc Docil in March a couple of years ago with some city elected official. So again, on behalf of the Filipino community of Carson, I am honored to be receiving this proclamation. Thank you very much. Good night, and God bless us all.
God bless you too. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Just congratulations, Alex. Thank you for mentioning the retired Mayor Pro Tem Elito Santarina, and happy birthday to him. I saw him for breakfast. For those of you who want to join, I think we're going to try to surprise him and take him out tonight. So thank you, Alex, for mentioning Elito and for getting the Larry Itliong holiday in the city of Carson. I believe it's the only city that has that. So we definitely want to share that and have the other cities adopt that. I think that would be great. So thank you, Alex, and good to see you on there. My dad really enjoyed hanging out with you. You were young at the time.
Well,
you were young at the time.
You mentioned your dad, so that makes me feel old, but I'm honored to work with your dad. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, and we honor you for your service. Once again, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Alex. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Mr. City Manager, before I go to this next presentation by the Public Works, I want to take this time for you to honor our own Tariq for his being an honoree.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Thank you so much. If we could, there's a brief, just a brief congratulatory message we wanted to put out to our very own Deputy City Manager, Tariq Rahmani, on being the 2022 Los Angeles Business Journal Chief Financial Awards finalist. He was the #1 finalist out of all municipalities in Southern California. But he was also competing against other private business chief financial officers. This was a highly recognized and important and well-deserved award and recognition. And so we're just thankful for his service and all the things that he's done for the city. Following after your lead, Madam Mayor, and the council being fiscally conservative, also transforming our finances into what they are today, which is a healthy reserve, balanced budget. And so we're extremely appreciative and thankful for his service and all the hard work he's done here for the city and for our employees. And so we're extremely thankful for that. So we just wanted to, as you shared this, Madam Mayor, thank you for allowing us to present this publicly as you shared your sentiments with him privately. So thank you.
Yes, I did. I thought it was a great honor, and I just wanted to let him know that we appreciate it.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to also agree with you on that. This is an example. We have some excellent employees in the city of Carson, many of them, and including Tariq Rahmani. He does a great job as a professional, and his talent really benefits our city.
Yeah.
The other staff.
So thank you, Tariq, if you're listening. We appreciate you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. City Manager, for that. The next is a presentation by the Public Works Maintenance on some updates, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. We have a quick brief updates in regards to the Dominguez channel and then the Public Works Maintenance, which is both going to be provided by our Director of Public Works, Ms. Eliza Jane Whitman. Eliza Jane?
Good evening. Thank you. Could I have the first slide on maintenance? Thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Would like to go through very briefly some of the updates that we've had over the last 2 weeks and then where we're going from there. Next slide. So the little bit of background in terms of how we are approaching currently our maintenance management. We do look at the existing scheduled maintenance efforts. We determine what staff workload there are and the trades that are required. If required with specialty focus on technical work, we work with the engineering group, identify the items based on the community input. We've got quite a few recently, and I'll talk about that in a second. We do prioritize for all the parks, events, and the safety requirements for all of the scheduled maintenance efforts. And then we actually have scheduled and looked at the all the work that we're doing. One of the things, if you look in the Public Works projects update, the last several pages are actually our maintenance schedule of work by park. So it's the first one that we've done and presented. There's a few things that we're working on, but it is our first one, and we'll have updates on a regular basis on that. Next slide. So recently, the last 15 days, Public Works presented to the Parks and Rec Commission. Apparently it was the first time Public Works ever presented to this particular commission. There was great feedback, and they are being given the actual schedule and list of activities that Public Works is working on for their feedback and to help us understand from their perspective what things are their top priorities. Further, pickleball, we are getting design input by the pickleball players themselves. We have worked with them to make sure that the fields for pickleball are open at Hemingway at 8 o'clock and not 9 a.m. We have received a quote and are working on the contract as we speak. We plan on coming to City Council October 18th to award the contract for the pickleball contractor and expect notice to proceed soon after. Anderson Park, last time I presented that we had one piece left for the HVAC system to be complete. That actually came last Thursday and was installed that day. So all of Anderson Park now, all of the rooms in the building have cooling. Playground resurfacing, we are currently just doing patchwork that has started. So there's going to be other places, but this is the areas where we know we can do it, and it's not as significant as some of the others. We are trimming trees and horizontal saw cutting of specific park sidewalks. We have a contractor that went through competitive bid, and we awarded that contract back last spring or during the summer. They've started work, and we have focused on some of the park sidewalks where we've found that there are some places that are a little high. And then finally, water bottle dispensers. You may have seen them, they're blue, and we are about 75% complete throughout all of the parks, but we expect to wrap up in the next week or so, all of them. Next slide. So some of our near-term events, near-term events in the next 30 days, it's both Veterans Park and the Community Center. So what we are doing at Veterans Park, in addition to just some, regular maintenance, is we are focusing on the bleachers, lighting in the gym, and a skylight roof leak repair. At the community center, we're going to make sure that there's nice landscape and flowers in additions to what is currently there. Next slide. So over the next 30 or so days, some of the activities that we're working on is an emergency PO for the severely damaged playground areas and the resurfacing of them. Another emergency PO for the elevators at both City Hall and Community Center. We attempted a few repairs, but feel like we really need to get those elevators in ASAP. The Mills Park roof and flooring repair, we are currently just waiting on specific materials to get that work started. There's a glass and a door at Dominguez Park that should be repaired in the next 30 days. We also have additional sand and wood chips for all of the parks. We're analyzing the scoreboards and lighting systems at each park. And then for Union Pacific Bridge crossing, there's one area where we actually have already completed the brush and tree trimming. We're looking at embankment painting and working with Union Pacific on the bridge upgrades. We've met with them and they think that they can do some things. And then finally, we're in the process of discussing a sign design with Cal State Dominguez Hills art professor to see what we might be able to put on the bridge itself. Union Pacific has given us the okay to do that, but in terms of what those signs should look like and say, we're going to work with Cal State Dominguez Hills. Next slide. Oh, that's it. So are there any questions?
Any questions from my colleagues?
Madam Mayor, no questions. Just I'm glad that we are out of the period of deferred maintenance into the period of fixing things that the people of Carson deserve to have fixed. So I'm happy with the report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Hicks, any questions, statements?
No questions, but to Eliza Jane, thank you for that report. Thank you for the updated timeline so that the residents will know what's going to take place or what's going to take place or what is taking place at their parks in their neighborhood.
Eliza Jane, could you email that update to Ginger so she can print it for me?
I will.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have an update on the Dominguez channel? And I heard there was some conversation going back and forth.
I have a few updates.
Okay.
Just a few slides. So this is just an update on some of the activities that have happened with Dominguez channel. Very important item that runs, or channel that runs through the center of the city. Next slide. So we actually had a community engagement workshop on September 22nd. It was a Thursday night. It talked about a pocket park as well as the city of Carson's bike path. And we had a table, and so many of the folks that came out were talking with our engineers and design folks to talk about those specific paths that we could put along Dominguez Channel. It was focused on Carson. A survey was sent out by LA County Department of Public Works. Over 150 surveys were received back. There was quite a bit of outreach by LA County, but it was also on our website. And another effort that we have completed is we have now established a core engineering and planning team between Carson and LA County's Public Works. So they are scheduled to meet on a regular basis for design components. And this also has spilled over to a collaboration with Carson developers and the County Public Works for other bike designs, but all around Victoria Park as well as Channel. Next slide. So the county is planning on doing a watershed study and analysis, and they're putting $3 to $5 million in for this. So that was good to hear that they're stepping up to the plate and actually putting this in. All of the cities in the watershed are going to be included. There's engineering, research, gap analysis, community meetings, having discussions with cultural and native communities, and then a focus on making sure that communication gets out to everybody. Next slide. So the next steps are for us to continue to meet with LA County Department of Public Works every month to investigate potential funding and infrastructure, both federal and state, establish schedule activities through March of 2023 and beyond, design and construction of the pocket park. I'm hearing that this is going to be completed by the end of 2023, but we'll have regular updates on that. We are going to plan the next community engagement workshop for design review, and then continue to report back on planning efforts, research, and gap analysis. One thing I would like to mention is we did have a resident who participated in the community engagement workshop, and she was very concerned about some of the drainage channels that discharged into Dominguez Channel. And I'm happy to report that LA County Department of Public Works, as of today, sent back an email and indicated that 2 of 3 channels have now been cleaned. And so the third one is in the process of being completed. So by the end of this week, everything should be done. So I think that's a good example of coming out, communicating with LA County, and being able to get action completed. And that is my report. Any questions?
Yeah, Elijah Jane, there were some milestone dates. I think we need to provide that when I met with Mark, when we could actually see dirt moving as far as the renovation of the channel and what we're looking for. So there's going to be some renderings coming back, but there are specific dates. We'll provide those at a future meeting. But there are timelines that are to be met, and we want to make sure our residents know that this pocket park is just not the answer to what we're looking for. It's just the beginning, but there are timelines, and there will be some renderings of how we want, and it's going to be an engagement by all various at all levels for the funding of this project. So Mark will come back. I think we have a meeting with him next week, I want to say, but I meet with Mark bi-weekly, at least twice.
Perfect.
And I've asked Elijah Jane to be a part of those meetings. So we'll have a more detailed report as to timeline at our next meeting, just to keep council in the loop. Okay.
So I've got a question for Ms. Whitman. So if you go back about 3 slides, you made a comment about the bike path being routed around what is now Victoria Park Golf Course onto Avalon Boulevard. And, it's quite a detour for that bike path if you're traveling the Dominguez Channel from Long Beach to Gardena and beyond. So I just want to remind you and remind people that it doesn't have to go around Victoria Park. The developer of the Victoria Park is willing to let us utilize the existing bridge that goes over the Victoria Park Creek. And it's a bridge that golfers use currently when they're golfing on that golf course. And the bridge most likely needs to be reinforced or widened in order to have a safe bike path on that bridge. But I'm pretty sure you know where that bridge is. Is that correct? You do?
Yeah, so, sorry.
So that way, since he's an avid bicyclist himself, and so when I brought up the idea to him, Bill Schaffoff's his name, he was very open to the idea and very supportive of the concept. So I'd like you, if you would, to get together with the developer and make the master plan much better plan by, it's really an awkward detour to go around what we have. If we can fix that, I think that's a good improvement in that bike path route.
Okay, great. Good. Thanks for the input.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's all I've got, Madam Mayor.
That was a good one. Thank you. And that's what a lot of these community meetings are for. Nothing is set in concrete. It's to hear from the city council and the residents on what it is they want to see. And so, I always say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So this is a good comment that we could take back to public works. Any more comments? Hearing
Just
none.
wanted to point out that's all in the mighty D1. That's all. Thank you.
Oh, you should have a lot to say.
Well, I do, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Elijah Jane, for that. D1, District 1, we are on the cusp of having about $8 billion worth of assets in District 1 alone. And I'm super excited about it. And it's more to come. Just stay tuned.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Any more comments? Hearing none, Madam City Clerk, all communications for items listed on the agenda. Is anyone queued up?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There is someone in the queue, and then we go to Steve. but I think these are all for the public hearing. So I can just go straight to the waiting room if you're okay with that.
That's fine.
Okay, one moment. Caller, you've been added to the live meeting. There's no phone number for me to recite, but if you are here for an agenda item, please state the nature of your call.
I'd like to speak on item 23.
Item 23. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. You are in the live meeting and you have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. This is Ricardo Polito, the environmentalist here, community advocate for many years, homeowner, and I like to speak on a few items, specifically item 23. I believe the city manager is asking for over $800,000 for furniture. I'd like to get more information. I know they're going to give it later in the report, but that seems like a lot of money at this point where we're at. We're not even utilizing our city hall for the public with COVID and everything. So please, let's review that. Let's be frugal in spending money, almost $1 million on new furniture and whatnot. I think we may want to perhaps, cut that back a little bit. I'd like you also to look at today's Daily Breeze. There's an excellent article about trucks and noise and pollution. The Planning Commission did great by voting 5-2. It should have been 7-0 against these, polluters. The big thing is the way to get around this, ladies and gentlemen, real quickly, is just do zero emission trucks now. Let us become the first city in the whole United States, as well as the beautiful state of California, to have zero emission trucks implemented now throughout our city limits. It's becoming a big pollution effort that has to stop, and we need to stop it now. The planning department unfortunately dropped the ball. They don't even have data reports for us on how many trucks are ingressing and egressing throughout the different trucking facilities right now. We'd like to get a monthly report on that. The public needs to know. I'd like to make sure that, you know that, Lula, you can't have it both ways. You can't say you're for warehouses and trucking like you're doing with the 157 debacle. And by the way, you do owe me a public apology for what you did over there at Fushia Park. I haven't forgot it, and I know Sonny is working on a Polito Commission ordinance on how you remove and how you put a commissioner. So it's been 9 months, Sonny. I'd like you to review that with the public and make sure we have that in post, because Lula, you're just dropping the ball big time by not giving me that public apology when letting a convicted person of 14 felonies and misdemeanors taking their side. I'm talking about Freddie Gomez. You should be taking the community side and myself for the unprofessional conduct on his part, and it's being investigated. So you're going to be in on that too. So be aware that we haven't forgotten that. I also want to bring up we're having our first citywide neighborhood council meeting at Ted-Burgers on Friday the 14th at 6 p.m. Everybody's invited. We're going to be talking about the Cesar Chavez and the Martin Luther King Committee's monument. We're going to be talking about how we're going to raise the funds and how we're going to build the great Cesar Chavez for this month of Hispanic Mexican American month.
Madam Mayor, that's 3 minutes.
That's
so
your
we
3
need
minutes.
you all to come out.
Thank you.
On 14th of October.
Thank you. Next.
Madam Mayor, there's one more person that's just been added, so I'll add the minute that's at this time, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening. You've been added to the live meeting. Dr. Jones, you've been added to the live meeting. Are you here to speak on an agenda item?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was calling for the meeting that was taking place tonight for the Women's Commission, and I got confused because the date said Tuesday the 6th, and today is not the 6th, so I was just wondering. So maybe the meeting is over that I was going to listen to.
Well, that was the presentation, and most of your commissioners were here to accept the certificate, the proclamation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you are part of that commission. So thank you for showing up anyway.
Oh, okay. You know, Mayor, I got out the hospital. I fell on the steps, and I told Sparkle I would definitely try to get on.
Okay.
And yeah, but my physical therapist person was here. But I'm on, and I'm on board. I'm gonna get a table and everything.
We need to lock those tables in real soon. So I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely will get down for one. You know, our old church is not, you know, we're not at that church, which don't have a pastor anymore. But I got a new church on Avalon, and right next to Wells Fargo Bank.
Yeah.
And I told them about, you know, about the commission. So they've already committed to get one table at least to start off with.
Okay, well, give Sparkle a call, and like I said, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Jones.
You're quite welcome. Bye-bye.
Madam Mayor, there's no one else in the queue. And then just so you know, I do have one written comment, but it's for a non-agenda item, so I can read that later. But I just wanted to let you know.
You can read it now.
I can, yes, I can. This is from David Walker. Good afternoon. My name is David Walker, and I live on East Hadler Street, adjacent to Bonita Street Elementary School. Our street is in horrible condition, and I have had to request pothole repair several times, along with the street inspection request. The potholes were fixed every time, and I appreciate that. However, the road continues to deteriorate at a rapid rate. We have a considerable amount of traffic due to the drop-off and pickup of children attending both Bonita Street Elementary and Carnegie Middle Schools. I have submitted a short 30-second video of East Hadler Street from Bonita Street to Selwyn Avenue. This video is a good representation of the condition of East Hadler Street, Selwyn Avenue, Garston Avenue, and 222nd Street that make up our small neighborhood. Thank you, David Walker.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, you and your staff can discuss that and visit it. I know we're doing a lot of streets, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is no other comments, Madam City Clerk?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's call for the approval, let's see, of the July 19th City Council Successor Agency Authority regular meeting minutes.
I move approval, Madam Mayor.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Madam City Clerk, report the vote.
Unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Yeah. Our consent calendar, items 12 through 22. I move for approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
Does anyone, it's been moved and properly second, or did I, who? You seconded, who approved it?
I seconded it. You
I don't
moved.
have the motion.
Oh, I moved it, okay.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Does anyone want to pull an item? Here none, let's call for the approval of the consent calendar, items 12 through 22.
Second. Oh, all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Mayor, it's 13 through 23.
Mine says 12. Oh, there's a double 12. Okay, 13 through 22. 2 through 23?
Yes.
I'm looking at my agenda, says something else. What do you guys' agenda say?
13 to 23.
Yeah, but on mine I got 2 23s though. Even special order today says 23.
I see.
Madam
I see
Mayor.
approval of minutes is 12, consent 12 to 22, but it's 12 to 23.
Yeah, mine said the same thing, yours, MPT. Okay, consent calendar items 12 through 23. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Madam City Clerk.
Unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Okay, special order of the day is a public hearing to consider approval of the mitigated negative declaration with errata and mitigation monitoring reporting program. General plan amendment number 111-21 zoning changes to 185-21 specific plan number 2922 and development agreement number 27-21 for development of a 121,775 square foot self-storage facility on a 2.1 8-acre vacant parcel located at 21611 Perry Street. Madam City Clerk, was this item properly posted?
Yes, Madam Mayor, the notice of public hearing has been given pursuant to applicable law, including but not limited to the proof of timely publication received by our office, City Clerk's office. Notice to the applicant was sent via email, and that's confirmed by staff. The posting requirements were met for the individual and the organization. The posting affidavits are on file here in our office, and we received 4 written communications.
Okay. Staff, could I have a present report, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, our Community Development Director, Mr. Saeed Nasei, is going to provide a presentation.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, good evening.
Good evening, Saeed.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
I can.
All right, great.
Yeah, we can see it, Saeed.
First, thank you. First, I wanted to go through some house cleaning items, housekeeping items. There have been some updates to the documents that you've received, and they've been provided to the city clerk, and I believe they've been emailed to the city council.
Yes.
First, resolution number 22-205. We've added enhanced CEQA finding in section 2. Ordinance number 22-2218, and the staff report. We've updated the link to the specific plan to have just some minor updates to the specific plan that are included in this version. Also in the staff report, the restricted hours have been changed consistent with what the Planning Commission has approved, and that changes the restricted hours from 9 p.m. to 7 p.m. To 10 p.m. to 7 p.m. 7 a.m. I'm sorry. We'll talk about this later on in my presentation as well. The project is located on Carson Street and Perry Street. It also is adjacent to the Dominguez Channel, and to the north, it's adjacent to existing single-family neighborhood. The site was developed in the 60s, and before that it was farmland. It's been used for a variety of industrial manufacturing uses, and the last tenant moved out of the property in 2009, and the structure was demolished in 2011. The project is proposed on a 2.8-acre parcel. It's about 121,000 square feet of self-storage. It includes a 1,500 square foot cafe, a 700 square foot retail use, such as a UPS store or a FedEx store. The maximum height of the buildings are 36 feet, and there are 41 parking spaces provided for the site. Several entitlements have been requested for approval from the applicant. The Planning Commission actually approved the site plan and design review that approved the site plan, the elevations, and the landscaping for the proposed project and its associated conditions of approval. The Planning Commission also recommended approval of the general plan amendment, which changes the designation from light industrial to heavy industrial, and a zone change on a specific plan, which changes the zoning from manufacturing light to specific plan, and there's also an associated development agreement with the proposal. The main issues that we looked at when we were reviewing the project was compatibility with the surrounding residential neighborhoods, especially the ones to the north that are directly adjacent to it. We wanted to find a use that is very friendly, it's quiet, and it complements the quiet nature of the residential neighborhood. And we also wanted to see exceptional design that not only from the street side, but also from the side that the residents will be looking at from their backyard, basically. This is a site plan for the site. As you can see, the access is from Perry Street through a circular driveway, and the driveway to the north is adjacent to the residential units on the north side. There's also a white strip you see in the middle between building B and building C. That is a ramp to provide additional access to the storage units. And along Perry Street, you can also see the office and the postal annex and the cafe as well. There's no access to Carson Street. We discussed hours of operation. Usually self-storage operations are 24 hours a day, but we worked with the applicant to restrict hours on some of the uses that seemed reasonable, and especially for the site being adjacent to the single-family residential to the north. So hours of operation for the storage offices are from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Cafe and mail and print and copy shop hours are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And the vehicular access and pedestrian access to the northerly driveway that's adjacent to the residential is prohibited between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. And those are called restricted hours, which I mentioned a correction in the staff report from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So going back again to this is the area we're talking about, this driveway. So there's no pedestrian or vehicular access during the restricted hours to let the neighbors basically sleep at night. Those units can be accessed from the southerly driveway and to the west, but they cannot be accessed from the north. The development agreement that's associated with the proposed project includes a one-time payment of a development agreement fee of $175,000 and also a one-time payment of $250,000 towards the city's facade improvement program. This $250,000 would count as contribution from the business owners or the property owners, and we would like to use these funds in the East Carson Street along just before Santa Fe. There's a strip mall there. We like to use it in that area if possible. That's our primary target area. Both payments are due prior to issuance of building permits. However, if requested by the city, only the $250,000 payment is due 30 days after the effective date of the development agreement. This is the proposed elevation, and where you see the cafe and the car and the people. That's Perry Street, and to the left of the site, the picture is the elevation for Carson Street. As you can see, it's a very residential looking and commercial looking elevations, very tasteful, in my opinion. It does not look like any storage facility. And I'll go on to other elevations, kind of carries the same theme. This is the view from Carson Street. This is the view from Perry Street. The top view is the view from the homes to the north, and the bottom view is adjacent to Dominguez Chow. Some details of the architecture. Again, it's not like any other storage project that we've approved in the city or I've seen in other cities. That concludes my report, and available for any questions.
Madam Mayor.
So I do have some questions.
Sure.
Okay, so the architecture of the actual structure is appealing. It certainly looks better than what we're accustomed to with self-storage units. However, I would be worried about the signage negating the beauty of the architecture. Where's the signage? I don't see any signage in the artist's rendering.
There was a small signage.
Need to get my magnifying glass or my reading glass?
Yeah, usually we ask the signage to be placed on the renderings, and there's a cafe over here that it's in between two trees, I think. We approved that administratively, and you bring up a good point. Signage could ruin a really nice architecture, and staff will make sure that the signage is complementary to the very tasteful architecture of the storage facility.
So this sign that we're looking at in the artist rendering, where it says Perry Street near the top at the corner, is that going to be there?
No, it's
just decorative for the council to look at.
I'm sorry, it's just a placeholder for the signage, because they don't know what the storage business is going to be called. So when they do know that, they'll come back. A sign contractor will come back and get permits from the city.
So is this going to be? Is this planned to be owned by the developer?
I'm not sure. You can ask the developer's representative who is present tonight.
Okay. You want to do that now?
Well, I'll ask him when we open the public hearing and under his presentation.
Okay, well, because we're just asking staff questions now. Okay, and we can ask that question when we open the public hearing.
Right.
Okay, so that's a placeholder. And so my question, and the developer can get ready for this, I'll tell them in advance. Is the developer planning to maintain ownership and operation of the self-storage, or are they planning to sell it to someone who operates self-storage facilities? And if that were to happen, would the signage change? So that's a question at the public hearing, but the staff doesn't have the answer for it, so we'll wait for that public hearing. As far as other staff questions, the staff is satisfied with the parking arrangement for the retail stores, because retail stores will live or die based on whether or not their customers can conveniently park. So what's the parking situation? You have, it sounds like, two retail entities. One is a restaurant, a smaller restaurant, 1,500 square foot. The other one is a FedEx, Kinko's type of a mailbox service and parcel forwarding service and so forth. Is that correct, Mr. Nasai?
That's correct. So we have about 2,200 square feet of retail commercial slash. It's really not a restaurant; it's a cafe. So we're going to need about 7 to 10 parking spaces for those uses, in my estimation, and those spaces are provided on site.
So, you say it's not a restaurant; it's a cafe. Well, even fast food restaurants consider themselves restaurants, even if they're small. So, how is this cafe different than a restaurant?
It's just the size. I think it would be like a sandwich shop or a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. So, a limited menu is what you're getting at.
Well, if I had to guess now, which I probably shouldn't do that because we don't know what the use is going to be, but the applicant may provide a little bit more insight to that.
Well, my question is going to whether or not the neighborhood is going to be impacted with retail customer parking, and that would be something to consider. So, could you address that? Will you expect retail customers to be parking on the street Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Perry Street does allow public parking on the street currently.
Let me look through my files here. There is, I can tell you how many parking spaces are within the gates.
I think you said 20.
There are 41 spaces total, but some of those are for the storage units, and the other ones are accessible by people who go to the cafe and the office and stuff like that.
So the parking lot will have a different access gate for the retail. Suppose you have a cafe and it's very popular, and patrons are there. People are there up until 10 o'clock in the evening, and they have X number of parking spaces, and then access to the storage unit, I would assume, would be by key or fob or
That's
some
correct.
type of electronic access.
That's correct.
Where retail customers would not utilize those parking spaces. Is that correct?
That's correct, and I can find the breakdown in just a second. Yeah, I could answer other questions if there are any while I look.
Well, the thing is, the question I'm asking is really not the number of spaces per se, because I think you said that in one of your slides, but at 41, but the staff's analysis of whether or not this will impact the already crowded parking situation on Perry Street and the adjoining streets.
No, we don't think it does, because there are.
Well, that was my question. If you don't think it does, then I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
Yeah, there are 22 public parking spaces that will be available to the cafe and to the postal annex. Wait
a minute, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. You said public parking spaces? What do you mean by public parking spaces?
Meaning that it's not behind the gate.
Okay, so that's on the street.
It's not on the street, it's on site.
Oh, but not behind the gate for the storage unit.
That's right.
It's on site.
Exactly.
Okay, very good.
41. There's 41 for the storage. I mean, total, and 20 of those are for the storage, and the rest are for the cafe and the FedEx. Is that correct, Saeed?
That's correct.
Okay, so you're not taking in consideration the street parking on the actual street at the curb, because that's already utilized by the residents.
No, we never include street parking as part of the.
Well, that was my question. I appreciate the answer, the clarity and the clarification. Thank you.
No problem.
Any more questions by council?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Saeed, can you go back to the rendering that shows the Carson Street frontage? I wanted to make sure you're saying that there was some plant material that's going to go in. My request is that it should mirror, since it's on Carson Street, what we already established on Carson Street on the other side of the 405 freeway. So it should continue on to that side of the street as well.
Well, if there is a landscape plan, it's at this scale. It's I can share that. So there's landscaping and trees all around the property, including Carson Street. If your comment, if I understand it correctly, does it mimic the Carson Street enhanced walkway and landscaping? Not quite, but it does pick up with some of the plant palette. It's this side of Carson Street. We're kind of looking at it a little bit differently than the other side and by the Civic Center and beyond to Figueroa. That that side of it, we're looking at more like a pedestrian-friendly environment, and this side is more auto-oriented.
But you do have restaurants, you have a strip mall, you have a mobile home or motorhome location. I mean, for me, would like to have seen this same look that we did on Carson Street master plan to kind of mirror all the way to Santa Fe at some point, so that it doesn't look as if it's not part of the same city.
I see your point. Yeah, that we could have done that, but we haven't done that, and it's going to be difficult to do that because then it's going to on Carson Street on the west side, we basically have to come in and remove the curb and put it inside basically the travel lane to restrict parking in some areas. And this area, it just doesn't look the same. It doesn't have the commercial activity that the west side does. You're correct that there is a small cafe, but I see those as destination, for people to drive there, or for the neighborhood to walk there, from the residential area to the back.
Yeah, well, to give that same look, if you're on the 405 freeway, if you go either east or west from the actual off-ramp, my concern would be to have the same look on either side of that freeway. And my request is just if they could do the same palm tree with the uplighting, that same type of feel when you get off that freeway before you can get onto the freeway to go north. That's just that same look in that area.
Okay. That's a great suggestion. We'll take that into we'll work with the applicant's landscape architect to make that happen.
If Councilman Hicks is complete, I want to reinforce the councilman's questions. The landscaping is going to be very important because, as with any development, it looks really nice in the artist rendering, but will it look nice in 5 years from now? That's what we have to take in consideration. And I also agree with the councilman's idea. I wouldn't use the term mimic, I would say complement and continue a continuous theme. I like the idea of the palm trees with the lights, as long as the lights are maintained. That is a really nice look for Carson. And if we can do that, Saeed, in this area, that would be, that would make it much more advantageous to our overall plan, because what we want to avoid is what we've been doing in the past, which is a hodgepodge of developments that are not complementary to one another and are not consistent in appearance. I mean, I think you see my point.
Yeah.
No, that's an excellent idea, and I'll keep that not only for this project. I'll keep that in mind for the vacant property that's across the street, where the parks are parked now. The Kia dealership cars are parked now, and where the Dignity Health sign is. I'm hoping that we could improve that property as well with some landscaping to kind of match this side of the street as well.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, we want the continuity, so I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yeah, I think so too. An analogy would be, if you can imagine a housing tract along a major boulevard, and the backyards would butt up against the public right-of-way in the street, and you have a hodgepodge of wood, chain link, bricks, cinder blocks.
Like on Avalon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If that could be consistent roadway like you'd find in a city like Cerritos, that's what the Carson residents deserve. I think, Madam Mayor, you would agree with me on that.
Yeah, we want a planned project that matches everything that
Yes, we want it to be planned and fit into a vision, a master plan, and not a hodgepodge of developments.
Yeah, all look the same.
again, I'm glad the council brought that up because in the general plan, I've included a policy that we would do like a street master plan for the entire city. And that way, there is a master plan that every development project would have to follow. So that's one of the implementation measures of the general plan that after it's approved, we would start on doing a street master plan for the entire city.
That's a great idea. I hope the developer is open to that idea. I know he's going to be speaking tonight at this public hearing, but we're giving him advance warning of our questions.
You should have him answered when he does his presentation. Any more questions from my colleagues? Hearing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, you have written responses or anyone in the queue that want to speak on this item?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have received 4 in writing, and then there is 1 in the queue. Do you have a preference of what I do first?
1 in the queue, so he or she doesn't have to wait.
Okay, sounds good. Saeed, can you stop sharing? I can't see where the caller went.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. The caller ending in 5681, you've been added to the live meeting. Hello?
Calling for non-agenda item.
Okay.
Just a public hearing.
Yes, we are in the middle of the public hearing. Thank you for being so patient. We can get to non-agenda items right after this. We're just in the middle of the public hearing. Are you able to wait?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to put you back in the queue. We'll bring you in a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay.
4 letters, comments?
I did, yes, and I'll begin reading them. This is regarding supportive item number 24. Dear City Council, my name is Aisha Stokes, and I've been a Carson resident, homeowner for 12 years, and a business owner for 11 years. My husband Sheldon and I are proud to call Carson our home, and we are enjoying watching the progress that is being made. There have been talks for many years, but it seems like good things are really starting to happen in our city. The project on Perry Street seems to be another case of Carson moving in the right direction. Self-storage isn't exactly an exciting type of use, but the demand for it exists from Carson residents, and cleaning up a vacant lot alongside a major street with a cafe and a mail store as part of the project is clearly the right way to go. I urge you to vote in support of this project and keep Carson moving forward. Warm regard, Aisha Stokes. The second one. Hi, my name is Rick Nickel. I am a business owner in the city of Carson. My business name is Rick's Lube Complete Auto Care. We are located at 1209 East Carson Street. Along with my parents, we have been working in the city of Carson for 30 years. We are happy to support a project in Carson. The empty lot across from our shop has been a sight for sore eyes. This new project would bring us and the city new customers and tax revenue. This project would be a huge improvement for the neighborhood as well. We are excited for this project to get started and finished. We look forward to new businesses in Carson. Thank you, Rick Nickel. My name is Tanae Spears, or Teen Spears, and I've been a Carson resident for some time now. When I first heard about this proposal, I had some doubts about self-storage and thought about maybe something better could go there. Then I was told a cafe and a FedEx store would also be in that space. For me and my family, that makes sense. I actually know some neighbors to this project site who were originally opposed to anything going on there. They were worried about the added traffic and what that could possibly cause. But everyone has been doing their research and sharing their findings. Some have even talked to some other people who live near storage yards, and they found out that these projects provide extra lighting, cameras, security, and they're actually some of the quietest neighbors you could ask for. Being able to take my children to Perry Park and do some business sounds ideal for me. I think it would be a great addition to the city. With the support of my neighbors close to the project in mind, I hope that you vote to clean up that vacant lot and in favor of this program. Thank you, Tanae Spears. My name is Alexandra Signoli. I am a former Carson resident and current business owner of the European Wax Center, which opened in March 2018. This is a very exciting time for our city, and I'm encouraged by the direction the City Council has taken. As a small business owner, new development is incredibly important, especially when it comes to a longtime vacant lot, such as 21611 Perry Street. The city is in need of neighborhood serving businesses, and this is a great option for the area. I am happy to provide my support for this project. Alexandra Signoli, franchisee, European Wax Center, Carson. That concludes the written comments that we received, and I believe, as usual, these have all been forwarded to your office, Madam Mayor.
Now we'll hear from the applicant, Mr. Darren Embry. You're on mute.
Hello, Madam Mayor.
How are you?
I am well, thank you. Let me make sure I get the right screen for you here. Hold on a second. There we go. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. So good evening, Mayor Davis Holmes, Mayor Pro Tem Hilton, and honorable council members. First, tonight, we'd like to thank city staff for their outstanding work on the project. Saeed, you and your team have put us through our paces to define this plan and how it must correspond to the needs of the city and the neighborhood. For a project here that is the highest and best use of this challenged site, your work is truly appreciated. Council members, Saeed did a good job of describing the project itself. So I want to focus tonight on a few of the key objectives that went into our planning. Our overarching goal is to transform this lot, which has been vacant and an eyesore for well over a decade, into a vital neighborhood serving resource. And when considering the challenged nature of the site, the covenant that restricts uses there, and its location directly abutting a single family residential neighborhood, we asked ourselves what kind of development is appropriate here? And what qualities does it need to have? And with the city's help, we identified 5 key aspects for the city, and most importantly, its neighborhood. Number 1, it should be a quiet and relatively passive use that will not bring unwanted traffic or impacts to the neighborhood. Number 2, it should have an architectural style and vocabulary that's pleasant to look at, well-designed, complementary, and that adds value to the single-family homes nearby, especially, of course, compared to the vacant lot that's there now. Number 3, it should bring modestly sized neighborhood-serving uses with amenities, including security, to benefit its neighborhoods and complement their family-oriented Perry Street mini park. Number 4, it should provide ample on-site parking so as not to ever compromise the neighbor's access to the existing street parking. And number 5, it should provide benefits to the city of Carson, its residents and businesses, to improve the community beyond its own property lines. So, as demonstrated in the CEQA environmental review document, this project has no unmitigated impacts. Still, self-storage is one of, if not the most passive and quiet land uses, with the fewest peak hour traffic trips of any commercial land use, and where the majority of its trips occur at off-peak hours. Any concerns about this project adding traffic should be completely assuaged when you read the traffic report. And I can personally promise you that once built and occupied, many of our neighbors may even forget the facility is there. And I can say that because my family and I live 2 blocks from a self-storage facility, and it is a clean, quiet, non-entity in our neighborhood. The cafe and mail annex, too, are both small and neighborhood serving. The hours of operation, as Saeed touched on, are limited, and the pickup and deliveries will all occur at off-peak hours as well. We knew from the start that we would need this project to be consistent with every other project that we have and will bring before you, Council. Something Faring can be proud of, and that Carson can be proud of too. And to that end, unlike every other self-storage facility you've seen, this project will have a true architectural identity, a Spanish-style palette with clay tiled roofs, white stucco, faux windows, iron window treatments, planters, ornamental light fixtures, all that suggest residential buildings in their aesthetics and massing. This level of design is truly exceptional for self-storage and will revitalize the vacant lot and the area generally, creating an accommodating transition between the commercial areas along Carson Street and the residences to the north. Significant landscaping and plantings will be provided, especially along the site's northern edge, to provide a pleasant privacy screen for our direct neighbors. The exterior landscaping along Carson and Perry Streets will directly benefit the community with trees and planted buffers. And I'll just jump ahead and agree wholeheartedly to Councilman Hicks' request. I think it's going to be important that we find a design that's complementary and in conversation with what's to the west of the 405 on Carson Street. Said talked about there may be some impediments, just some different dimensions along the sidewalks and curbs there, but we will work diligently with staff to make Councilman Hicks and the rest of the council proud with what we come up with there. Next is planning staff and Councilman Hicks both deserve credit for recommending and then requiring us to include some neighborhood-focused, neighborhood-serving amenity businesses, which will complement our proximity to the Perry Street Mini Park. A local cafe and mail business one-stop will do exactly that. Also, the project will feature a contemporary 24-hour security system with keypad gate entries, individually monitored storage units, site-wide video surveillance, and an automatic fire sprinkler system. On and off-site personnel will monitor the security systems, and should there be an activation when the management office is closed, an independent security firm will respond in order to minimize the need for sheriff and fire department services. And to Councilman Deere's concern about street parking, on-site parking is required, of course, so as not to impact our neighbors. And we're actually providing more than peak parking demand will require. The city commissioned a shared peak parking demand analysis of the project by the premier regional transportation analytics firm, Farron Piers. And the result of the study was that the peak parking demand of this project at any time will be 30 spaces. We are providing 41 spaces on site, 11 more than the project will ever need. And that is specifically to ensure that our neighbors' access to street parking will never be compromised. Our commitment to Carson and this project's community benefits is not just financial, it's personal for us and it's civic. It's about Carson pride and making sure this site becomes something the city can be proud of. This project will deepen our commitments and provide further benefits to Carson and improve the community, again, beyond our property lines. Over $392,000 in development impact fees, $175,000 in development agreement fee directly to the general fund, $250,000 in facade beautification seed money for East Carson Street to help local businesses along one of Carson's most traveled streets to renovate and beautify their properties. Payments made directly to the city for the benefit of Carson, its residents and businesses, in excess of $817,000. Additionally, the property is being annexed into the citywide community facilities district for ongoing annual assessments. And the project will also, of course, provide sales tax revenues to the city in perpetuity. In closing, we wish to thank you, Madam Mayor, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, and council members for your time and attention this evening. We hope we've earned your trust and support. The city deserves to have someone competent, familiar, and deeply invested in Carson managing this project and caring for this site. Our team is the right one to do just that. We hope you share our planning commissioner's enthusiasm for this project and will vote to approve what it will do to enhance that corner, the Perry Street neighborhood, Council District 3, and the city generally. And we are here to answer any additional questions you may have. Thank you so much.
Council, I didn't hear anything about the signage. Did you discuss that, or Darren?
I can, if I may, Madam Mayor. This is the exhibit that we have showing the modest nature of the signs. There will be a comprehensive signage application filed as per standard, city procedures. The idea is not to Mr. Deere's point, overshadow the architecture with anything other than the appropriate signage to the site.
Councilman Deere?
Yeah, would you say, Darren, that the signage in this diagram is going to be proportional to what you're showing? Doesn't look like a very large sign, which is good for the benefit of attractive architecture. How many, you're going to have one sign at Perry Street and Carson, and another at the opposite end, joining the Dominguez channel. And then were you going to have any other signs?
This is mostly everything you're seeing here. You'll see there. I'm trying to, if you can see the cursor, it's showing you the proposed storage sign.
That'll face the freeway.
This
one you just showed.
This will face the freeway over here.
Yes.
This is at the corner of Perry and Carson. This is another look at the corner of Perry and Carson. This is at the office, above the storage center office, which is here. There will also be a cafe sign here.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the first one, facing the freeway. So you're proposing that be your only sign facing the freeway?
I want to just make sure that you're clear that we will provide a comprehensive signage application that's just consistent with city, requirements for review. And we're showing this as part of our application package here.
Okay, so the answer to that question is, if you look, I think it has a number 3 on it. Oh, they have 3.
Well, the 3. This is the idea here.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. Perry Street storage. So I'm going to ask the question again because I know you, Darren, and you have some way of answering the questions. If you go back to that where you had the cursor the first time, that is the only sign facing the freeway?
That's what we're showing. That's what we're planning. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That was my question. I really appreciate the clear, concise answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. Okay, that's great. I really like that answer. That's really good. Okay. Thank you. That's all for the moment.
Okay. Any more questions? If not, we're gonna close the public hearing and.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Excuse my interruption. I do see one additional person in the waiting room besides the woman who sit back, so they may be here for this.
They're not waiting for, okay, we'll let them in.
Okay. Good evening, caller ending in 0523. Are you here to speak for the public hearing for item number 24? Okay. Perhaps not.
Well,
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Darren, and thank you for that presentation. It looks beautiful, the style and the Spanish style, and it looks great. And it would be nice to have that on a lot of the other sites as well, so it does fit in. But the landscaping, all of that looks great. I hope it does have a dog-friendly cafe. So, yes. So my question, well, I do have a question in this. So,
well, let me close the public hearing and then we'll go to debate.
Sure.
Deliberation. So I'm gonna close the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, the public hearing is closed. Now we're gonna open for council deliberation. Councilwoman.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I know you have Union South Bay, which is also beautiful, but we don't have any cafes there. I know we're still hoping and waiting for that. And then we have, you have another project that has not broken ground yet. And then we have the 157 acres, which again is going to be a great plan with the dog park. And but that's going to take some time. So my question is, you have these projects that are out. On this one, it looks great. It looks pretty simple. And so my question is, what is our time frame of getting this to a shovel-ready project?
Yes, no, thank you for the question. It will be quick. We will be to permitting within the next 4 months. And depending on how fast the permitting review and approval goes, we should be by the second quarter of next year, we should be in the dirt there.
Okay, and do we have prospective cafes? Like I said, I brought up the Union South Bay because that is a beautiful building, but we don't have any retail there, and I mean it's just a wasted space. I wish we did, because if I was a business owner, I would love to be in there.
We will begin our outreach on this project as soon as we're lucky enough to have your approvals tonight. We will begin the outreach. We'd like to have a mix of local operators, maybe at the cafe, and probably a more national credit tenant in the mail annex shop.
Okay, and it's just one cafe there?
One cafe.
That what? Okay.
Question?
Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Hicks.
Thank you. Thank you, Darren, for that presentation. Very well. Just going back, what is the size of the cafe? What's the square footage of that cafe?
It's about 1,500 square feet.
And the size of the proposed mail annex?
Around 700 square feet.
That's a small annex for the mail. I'm just thinking, I thought it would be about the same, 15 and 15.
That's what we're proposing, trying to be responsive to what the market's demanding.
Okay. And you guys have some idea what could be looked at as far as for both locations?
We do. I don't want to overpromise. We're just going to begin those conversations again if we're lucky enough to win your approval tonight. But we'll make a point, of course, to see you, council, regularly and give you updates as needed.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions, comments, staff? Any closing comments, staff?
None, Madam Mayor.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the city council?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I do have one more question. Did I read it correctly in the staff report that there's some stipulation that the cafe and mail service would be operational at the same time as the self-storage, or are they connected? Clarify that for me. It could be the developer, or it could be our city staff answering that question.
Go ahead, Darren.
Sorry, Councilman?
Yeah, I think that Saeed wants you to answer the question. So I'll ask it again. Is there any connection between the opening date of the retail establishments, the two of them, and the self-storage facility?
It's about a 5-year window to full stabilization.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to be responsive to what the market's demanding and what it's offering.
Okay, so I know you can't predict the future. You don't have a crystal ball. But in your market analysis, what's the likelihood you're going to get a business person to open up a cafe at that corner, and the likelihood of getting a business person to, I would assume, a franchise, possibly, or maybe an independent, it could be independent, mailbox service with 700 square foot, facility. I think, for that neighborhood, it would be very convenient to have a mail service with mailboxes and be able to send packages, and also very convenient to have a neighborhood cafe where the residents, I can picture them now meeting each other for the first time. They may have lived together in the same street for 10 years and they never met before because of, people are busy in their lives. But I really like the idea of a neighborhood cafe where people can walk. I lived in Europe at one time, and people can walk to the cafe. And it's a gathering place for conversation, for, camaraderie, for neighborhood pride, for just enjoying each other's company. And so that's a very attractive aspect of your development. I know it's only a small portion of the entire development, but I think it's a significant portion. So,
Madam Mayor,
rephrase the question, what's your likelihood of being able to get someone to open up a cafe on your market studies, as opposed to maybe them sitting vacant? We can play devil's advocate for a moment. Sitting vacant for a number of years and never meet the expectations of the neighborhood. Darren, could you answer that question?
Sure.
I see why Saeed passed it on to you.
Well, Councilman and Council, no one's more motivated than we are to find the right tenants for this site. And as long as Carson remains business friendly and the word continues to spread about what a great place Carson is to do business, I'm really not worried about us finding the right tenants for this site.
Okay, thank you for that answer. That's
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Hicks.
I'd like to make the motion to introduce ordinance number 22-2218, entitled Ordinance of the City of Carson, California, approving zone change number 18521 for manufacturing light with a design overlay, MLD, to the Perry Street specific plan, PSP, for the development of 121,775 square foot self-storage facility on 2.8 vacant parcel located at 21611 Perry Street, and introduce ordinance number 222219, entitling an uncodified ordinance of the City of Carson, California, approving development agreement number 27-21 between the City of Carson and 21611 Perry Street LLC for a proposed self-storage facility at 21611 Perry Street, and waive further reading and adopt resolution number 22-205, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Carson, California, approving a mitigated negative declaration with arid and mitigation monitoring and reporting programs, and approving general plan amendment number 111-21 to change the land use designation from light industrial to heavy industrial for a 2.8 acre property located at 21611 Street, APN number 7327-010-014 and 7327-010-015.
Second.
Madam Mayor, before vote is casted, as corrected by staff, if you could add that to the motion.
As corrected by staff.
That's corrected by staff. The resolution number, which number was changed?
What was changed, Saeed?
Sorry.
1 second, please.
I think it was just you just misspoke. The staff's correcting it for accuracy. Is that right, Saeed?
Yeah, let me just go to that slide. It's resolution number 22-205, enhanced CEQA findings, in section 2, ordinance number 22-2218, and staff report, updated link to the specific plan, and staff report restricted hours changed from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's it.
That's the motion.
Second.
As amended by staff, has been moved and properly second. Are there any questions?
I was just going to say, before Cedric made the motion, honestly, Darren, I was honestly on the fence about your project because I think that this project, it has been, it's been vacant for some time. But to hear all of the people, the public comments of those engaged people, Asha Stokes and Shelton Stokes, who are business owners in the community, people who you normally don't hear from, to come out of their comforts of their own home and speak on the power of this project. I'm excited to see what will happen on Perry Street with this cafe and this annex. I made the second, so we're with you.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Madam City Clerk, report the vote.
It's unanimous, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Darren, for your report. Thank you, Saeed, for all of your hard work. We just keep you busy, don't we? The next item on the agenda is
Nothing. Oh.
memorial adjournments.
Oh, it's sorry. Can we make sure that we list the young lady Rosa Williams? I know you're
Yes,
going to do
please.
this.
Mm-hmm.
She was already added, so I have her. You're waiting on me. My apologies, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
These are the three names that I have received: Byron R. Batty, Willie Buck, and Rosa Williams, which is the person that Captain Jones shared earlier. And Madam Mayor, if I may, I did receive an email from an employee who used to work in this clerk's office, and she still works for the city. Her boyfriend passed away, and she wanted, she asked if I could add that.
What's his name?
His name was Omar Skinny Crenshaw, and he is the boyfriend of our city employee, Rika Robertson.
And did our city HR director, was her person listed?
This is all that I have, but I'm happy to add it.
Yes.
It's Rosa Williams.
Oh, okay.
Can you say that one again?
Rosa Williams. She's listed already. Okay. Okay, Bishop.
Yes. Let's pray. Father, you heard the names of every family that's represented tonight. We pray that you would bless them, give them strength, give them hope and peace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And now we'll go to all communications for matters not listed on the agenda, Madam City Clerk.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I will re-add the person that we put back on hold. Caller ending in 5681, thank you so much for your patience. You've been added to the live meeting.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
You can hear me, right? Oh, okay. Sorry
Yes,
about that.
You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, Kim Cortado, Parks and Rec Commissioner. Apologies for not being on for a while, but I've been trying to get the senior nutrition program up and running. But I want to bring up upcoming events like people have mentioned tonight. The Women's Health Conference is going to be October 21st at the Carson Event Center. Larry Ickleon Day celebration and dinner and dance. The celebration is October 22nd at Veterans Park, as well as the dinner and dance. That is a paid event, as well as the Women's Health Conference. Red Ribbon Week is the week of October 22nd to the 29th. The Think Pink Breast Cancer Walk is October 23rd at Veterans Park. Please sign up to partake in that. We also have the Halloween Carnival, October 29th to the 21st at the Carson Event Center. Recently, we had Jazz Festival on October 1st, which was at Anderson Park and was very well attended. Great music, food, and just all around great day. The next day was the Filipino American History Month kickoff at Dignity Health Sports Center. That was also a good event. Once it gets, if it stays there, I'm sure it will, start getting more people like all of our other events. The more we have it there, the more people come out for. I also attended the Senior Health Fair that was put on by the Human Services. Danny and Amanda did an excellent job putting that on. I went actually as a vendor for the YMCA, trying to get our seniors back out to start having lunch. And as soon as the bathrooms come back, we will be back for in-person lunches 5 days a week. Also, there is bingo Tuesday through Friday at the Carson Event Center. Also wanted to mention October is also not only breast cancer, but it is also Infant Loss Month. And that is the end of my report, and thank you.
Madam Mayor, I've got a question for Kim.
Yes.
And I heard you mention the bingo is now open. Did you say Tuesday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday?
Tuesday through Friday.
Through Friday. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And is it run by the senior clubs as in the past?
It is run by the Human Services Department, and it is free to play bingo.
So it's not the bingo we had pre-pandemic?
No, no.
I see.
No, it is different.
Different, I see. Okay, thanks for that clarification. And also, thank you for giving that report. You were one of the most active, considerate for spending your personal time for the community. You do a great job, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you. I love what I do.
She does. It's Councilman, it's not being run the way it was in the past because they're still working out the licensing issue. So as opposed to them staying at home and waiting till that,
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah. So as opposed, the seniors want to come back out. So as opposed to them staying at home, staff is running it. They're getting prizes instead of cash. But mayor, city manager, they're waiting on the license. There's only 2 of the clubs that had completed their licensing process for bingo. So staff is working with them to get that taken care of, and then they will go back to business as usual once it's all worked out.
Yes, ma'am.
Good news.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts, for you and your staff facilitating that and making it happen for the seniors. You guys do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's definitely a director of community service and public works, our public Parks and Rec director, excuse me, Mr. Michael Whitaker and his team. Really been working hard on that. So.
Okay, thank you. Council members request to add items to the agenda.
Madam Mayor, I'm requesting that we have an ordinance to adjust the agenda ordinance so we can bring democracy back to the city council. And the second thing I'm asking for is, and I've been asking again, every council meeting pretty much, that we have the mobile home park zoning ordinance before us and establish that. We need to do that, and I'm encouraging you to allow that to happen. Thank you.
I think, Madam Mayor, I did ask that last time, and it was supposed to be on. I think you mentioned that it was already on there.
No, I didn't. I said it was coming with the general plan. It's already
okay.
The charter that we must have a mobile home park ordinance. So it's going to happen. It's just not, I'm not putting it on till we, well, anyway, I don't need to go into that.
It's coming.
It's coming. Thank you very much. It's in the charter. I cannot not bring it. Put it like
and
this.
And it's in our lifetime, correct?
I don't know how long you're going to live.
That's not very nice.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Par for the course. Okay, thank you.
Mobile home parks zoning. That's the only thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We don't have any closed session items. Any comments from my colleagues?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I wanted to just let District 1, I rode through District 1 today with code enforcement because there have been some people pointing out some particular issues in certain areas in District 1. And I'm happy to let them know that I rode with code enforcement and pointed out the issues myself. So code enforcement will be addressing those issues that we talked about, some issues that they might have missed, some things that they've been tagging on Carson 411. They tag me a lot, along with yourself, Mayor.
Yes.
So we went out to address those issues, and I look forward to going into every neighborhood to address those issues as well. That is in my district. I can't speak for anything else, but in my district, I look forward to going out and addressing those issues.
Yes, and to our city manager, I've requested on several times that our code enforcement manager goes out because we have some new officers, and sometimes staff don't see what we see. And, I'm on the, well, anyway, I think that would be a good ride along for the supervisor, manager to ride and say, hey, because.
And that's who took me. That's
oh,
who.
good, thank you. And then,
Supervisor manager. And
okay.
he saw some things as a veteran.
Yes.
That he said that he's going to take his team out in all the districts.
Exactly.
Just saw some things as a veteran officer today.
Some of them are just glaring in your face.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for that report.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
keeping in that same vein, I'm requesting through the city manager, I think we requested it once before to put together the different ordinances and different violations that code enforcement go out and look for. And I know we have a lot of new residents in our city who may not know what they can and cannot do living in our community. So we need to revisit that document to send out to our residents to let them know. I thought we were going to put it in our reg guide at one point. I don't know if that even happened. So
yes, it did, Councilman. And we also put door hangers. That was the request of the mayor, to be able to provide a packet also to new residents when they come in, so they would know exactly what it is that code enforcement would be citing. But we were happy to put that back into the next rec guide coming out here for the fall edition.
And the reason for that, I'm seeing a lot of people still leaving their trash cans out.
Correct.
The trash has been picked up for days, or it's in sight line that you're not supposed to be able to see from the street.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of that and a lot of vehicles that are on 4 flats, but they say they can run.
Yes.
And we have a lot of new residents coming into the city. So I encourage my colleagues, because I have 5 new residents on my block alone. And so I walk them down. So, Mr. City Manager, I'd like you to prepare me some additional packets that I can hand out, because I just had a new neighbor to move in, so I can hand it to them. I've given out all the ones that I have. But whenever I see a new resident, hey, here's a package for you. Instead of
perfect, Madam Mayor.
Package.
Sure, absolutely, Madam Mayor. We'll actually provide those packets like we did for you prior to all council.
Mm-hmm.
So all of you be able to provide those to any of your new residents as well. And then again, as you stated, Councilman Hicks will repost the door hanger, but the actual pamphlet inside of the rec guide, so that will be dispersed out to all the residents as well.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to remark about the mariachi fiesta. The staff did a great job of putting that together. I stayed to the end. It was a beautiful music, great talent. Really, it coincided, of course, Hispanic History Month, which, as far as I'm concerned, is every month in Carson. And it's really when the staff wants to, they can really show a great success, and I know they want to all the time, so that's good news for Carson. But that mariachi fiesta was really wonderful. I really enjoyed myself. I really loved that music. And then I also attended the kickoff for Filipino American History Month. That was well organized, well designed. The turnout was a disappointment. Didn't have enough people there, but that can be corrected next year, I'm sure. And the staff, of course, worked to put that together as well. And I'm looking forward to all the other staff organized and promoted events coming up throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Thank you again to the staff at Dignity Health. It was a great event and very organized. And thank you to Ted Benito, who delivered an outstanding list of performers. What I did hear was there was a gate that was locked out front, or I think some of the patrons did not know how to get in to the building, and there was actually people outside. They didn't know what gate to go to. They didn't know what door. So I think that's just something simple that we can work with, because it's such a big location, but definitely was a very classy and very well put together. So thank you to the staff. They really did step up and work hard. Next year, we'll just have to have people out front that will direct people. And I wanted to thank one of our, I think it was Kat, who was outside that was flagging me down, that even helped me figure out where to go. So thank you, Cedric Hicks, for your staffer, for directing me where to park and all that. So that's just a little thing that we need to do for next year, is have people direct when you have an event at a venue of that caliber. Very classy and very impressive venue. So thank you for that.
Thank you. First of all, to the staff, that the Mariachi Festival was very nice. It had been moved around several times, but it was a good event. The residents were pleased that they were out and able to have this event that started some time ago. To the Jazz Festival.
That was fun. The Jazz Festival was fun.
The Jazz Festival was off the chain, and I can only say thank you to the staff. You guys did an awesome job. The entertainment was great. The numbers were humongous. And I just want to thank the Carson Citizens Cultural Arts Foundation and the staff. They worked around the clock. What I do want to say to this city council is, there is no time in the history of the city of Carson have we had back-to-back major events. I think when we put the event, the Jazz Festival is always the first Saturday in October. We need to be mindful of our staff. You know, we cannot afford to work them as hard as back-to-back events. So to the planning staff, when you guys are planning this event next year, take that into consideration. Major special events like that, that's just inconsiderate of staff. I don't know who planned it, what the date was, but the Jazz Festival and the Women's Conference are set in, they've been going on forever. If we're going to continue, and to the planners, I think we need to look at, even though we say that Dignity Health is beautiful and all this, they used to have the Unity Day there. It had over 1,500 people. The event did not grow to and the cost is so, it's too much for what we're getting out from them. And I would like you to look at, look at the possibility of not having it at Dignity. I know it's a nice venue, but will our residents come with the amount of money that we're spending up there to put this event on? I'm expecting that event to have at least 1,000 people in attendance for the money that we spend, and for our Filipino community. And I think that needs to be evaluated before we go forward, because the attendance was not good at all. And I was totally surprised because I go to all the Filipino events, and this event was organized to the T. Thank you to staff. But it's two things that happened: back-to-back events, and the fact that you have to know where your residents want to have these events. And I think when we look at that again, and whoever's doing the evaluation, that we should look at the venue. It's Dignity, but I've tried it several times, and it's costly, but it does not warrant it does not draw the number of people that we are expecting. And like I said, it drew. The Unity Day Festival was up there. And we just as a staff made a decision, this is not working, because all of our residents did not come. We put it at the community center in the parking lot. Everybody was there. So that's my eye on it, and something that you should consider. But the event was staff. Kudos to staff. You work your butt off for 2 events. One was a huge success. One did not draw the attendance, and I was shocked that we did not have the attendance there that we have had at a kickoff celebration. So that's my 2 cents on that. And I just
Madam Mayor, I want to ditto your comments. I concur with you. The staff should not be having to put 2 events on one day after the next. That's an excellent point. And I don't want to be amiss. I also attended the Jazz Festival. I enjoyed that music. I love jazz music as well. And high quality entertainment, great entertainment. It really draws a wonderful crowd of people and puts Carson on the map. So another great event, Jazz Fest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and for the Jazz Festival, it was nice to see a lot of my friends from Compton, Inglewood, and Linwood. I mean, they were all from different cities, and that is the goal, is to have other cities come in and say, hey, let's go to Carson for an event. And so
It's
yes,
peaceful.
nice to see. Yes, nice to see everyone coming from other cities into Carson. That was very good, very nice.
Okay. So thank you for everyone that has attended. Again, Mr. City Manager, please send those letters out. I just cannot say enough because your staff did a stellar job, and I don't want that to go unnoticed, that it was noticed.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Will do.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Keeping in that same vein, you know, the Cajun and Blues White Linen seemed to kick off the entertainment for that entire period of time. So we started off with a bang and we ended with a bang with the jazz. That's how we did that.
Mini jazz festival.
It came out together.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I want to make this quick announcement to my wife. I just want to say happy anniversary to my wife tomorrow. We are our 37th wedding anniversary, and I just want to say happy anniversary to my wife.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And what
To
is
the
it?
Hicks family.
To the Hicks family, to the Hicks clan. So hearing no further comments, I'm going to say this meeting is adjourned, and thank you, everybody. It's a pleasure having these council meetings. We get out of here before 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm loving this.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.